Hey guys, this is Josh here, your Amazon optimization guru, and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things related to optimizing and increasing sales on Amazon. If you're interested in more of a personalized approach, I do offer one-on-one consulting. So if you want, you can reach out by using the link in the description below. So today we're going to talk a little bit about a tool that I happen to be a huge fan of, and that tool is the A/B testing tool, or more formally known as the experiments tool within Amazon. And this is available to you as a brand owner, as long as you're registered as a brand, within your Seller Central. So if you go and you open up the left panel here and go all the way down to brands, you can see this section called Manage Experiments. And this is what we're going to take a look at today. Now, what I love about this tool is that you can essentially use it to guide you to make the best decisions towards how you optimize your listings. And what's great about it is you can have it auto-publish the result after the test is done. And you can look at the results too and discern for yourself, whether or not you think this is going to be effective. But what's great also about it is you don't necessarily know what's going to perform better. And so if you have an idea for a new title for your listings, for example, you can run this test and you can get that data, and then you're not taking any risk by implementing something where otherwise you might not know how it's going to turn out. And if it ends up negatively affecting your listings, then you lose out on sales. And so a great example of this is in the past, personally, I've had bullet points, images, etc., where I thought, okay, there's no way this is going to perform worse than my current title, and then I'd run the A/B test and realize that actually it did. It didn't perform as well as I'd hoped, and I was glad that I ran the test first. Otherwise, if I just implemented it off the bat regularly through the listing tool in Seller Central, yeah, I would have seen a negative result, and it may have taken, months for me to actually realize that I missed out on a lot of sales because I made a decision that wasn't necessarily the best decision. So with that being said, I think it's a best practice for someone to go ahead and use this tool and use it on a regular basis. I mean, things on Amazon, they change so frequently. So you're going to see new trends come out. You're going to see new keywords that increase in search volume. You're going to see people are looking for different things. For example, in the supplement space, you could have a time period where all of a sudden low sugar value propositions become very popular, and they also become very big selling points. So including these types of elements in the ways that you're seeing in terms of the trends of the industry are usually a good idea. And because trends change on a fairly regular basis, you're probably going to want to go ahead and update your titles at least 4 times a year. Same goes for bullet points, same goes for A+ content, imagery, etc. Just to get the optimal value out of your listings and to maximize your sales, through that perspective. So yeah, I think it's a great thing to go ahead and run these. And what I'll do is I'll just show you quickly how you can set that up. It's super simple. The research side of it is another topic in itself. It's something that I do talk about in my other videos. So you can take a look at my channel and see that, and you can see more specifics on how you can optimize your title, how you can do keyword research, for all of the elements within your listings, your bullet points, your A+ content, etc. And yeah, so with that at the side there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to our experiments dashboard here. And if you look at this right side, you can see kind of what you have access to in terms of what tests you can run. And again, like I said, I would certainly recommend that you run tests on all of these variables because these variables are really the top 5 most important variables that you can use and you can leverage within your Amazon listing optimization strategy. So here we have the A plus content, the bullet points, the product images, the product description, and the title. And if you go into any one of these, the tests are the same in terms of how you set it up and what you select, and you can kind of run through the specifics here. So for example, if I choose the A plus content, you can see that you have the reference ASIN selections. You can name your test if you want, and then you select a duration for it. Now, a lot of these tests, they'll have a duration of a minimum of 4 weeks. So if we're going to go ahead and let's just pick a product here as a reference ASIN. So I'm going to select this product. And you can see with this image test, it gives me some options as well, similar to the A plus content. It's pretty self-explanatory, as you go through this. So I'm not really going to mention too much, but if you have any specific questions about the upload process and how to start a test, you can either review the documentation that Amazon gives you on the main page. So I'm just going to go here and show you that. So you can see there's a help section in the top right here. So you could read into it and get some tips as well if you want, or feel free to drop a comment below and we'll definitely help you out there as well. But holistically and as a general overview, as you go into schedule, just make sure that your variation has a substantial change that you're looking for. So in this case, like the imagery, and again, this we go into detail in my other videos as well, how to optimize the imagery and what elements to change and things you can focus on. So in this case, maybe I might decide to include a benefit icon, say in the top right as a call out. I might decide to leverage the image and some of the space in the side of the image here to include additional callouts and icons. Again, any product you're selling, if you have benefits and things like that that can be made visible within the listing of the image itself, then that's great. Again, I'm not going to go into too many details as I do this in my other videos, but ultimately, when you have an A/B test like an image or a title that you want to upload, you just throw it in here. And then what you want to do is you want to go to schedule the experiment. And you'll see some of the details here in terms of duration. Again, the longer you schedule it, the better result you're going to have. So what I would recommend is, 10 weeks as a test is an ideal time frame. But if you have a shorter time period where you really don't want to wait and you want to get a good enough result, then 4 weeks has always yielded some pretty good results as well, from my perspective. So depending on what you're comfortable with and how long you're willing to wait for each aspect, is contingent on what duration you select. And then, the start date, they usually do it a week from the date you're trying to schedule it. Sometimes they can schedule it sooner, and that's an option you can see here. And then you can automatically publish the winning version if you want. It definitely makes it a lot easier. You don't have to keep checking it, etc. So the cool thing about this as well is as the test is running, you can see the results. So you go into the view details next to the test as you see it in your experiments page. And every week it'll kind of populate it. And there might be a bit of a lag in terms of how long it takes to populate, like a week for the previous week results is a good example. But then you can see that it gives you the probability of which version is better. So it's basically gonna call out exactly, how each of these performed and what it thinks will perform at a higher rate. In this case, you can see, funny enough, that it's split 50-50. So, when you have a 50-50 split, I would recommend taking that optimized element and building upon it to see if you can leverage it higher. But coincidentally, these performed almost at the same rate, so it doesn't really matter if you keep the old original version, which is shown here, or if you decide that you want to keep the optimized version and move forward with that. But again, some other considerations might be if you decide to rebrand and change and adjust your marketing messaging, then you might decide to just implement the new one in this case. But if you have the original version win out, then really you have to kind of go back to the drawing board and do additional research and run another test. So again, very simple, but a lot of people don't really think to do it, and then they end up implementing changes on their listings that don't perform as well as they'd hoped. Another note, in regard to this is Amazon loves to see changes being pushed through on a consistent, regular basis. So we're talking about like once or twice a month in this regard, and the algorithm will actually adjust your ranking based off of that. Again, we don't exactly know how much, but it's definitely a factor, and it's definitely something that I've seen in terms of the more tests you run, and the more things you implement and tweak, the better your listings perform. So I definitely recommend it. And yeah, I think that pretty much gives a holistic overview of the A/B testing tool. Again, if you have any questions, you can visit the FAQ on Amazon or leave a comment. And if you like this video and you found it helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and take care.